Hello there and happy Tuesday. I was gonna say morning, but I guess it's noon now, afternoon. So I changed up the dates just to try to make it so more of you can join and to do what I can for my schedule as well. So hopefully this works that you guys have seen this and you can pop on to ask questions, comments, and have a conversation around this month for topic, which is all about career change and going full-time as a coach. What a fun conversation. And it still kind of blows my mind sometimes that I'm like, wow, I really am doing this. I really am a coach full-time. What I wanted to happen and planned to happen actually happened. And so I've been a full-time coach for almost 4 years now, and it's been super, super fun. It's been quite a journey of learning and trying new things, and it's never boring. Even if you're like, ooh, I'm scared of, last month we talked about niche and branding. So even if you have a little bit of the fear of like, ooh, if I choose a niche, will I get bored talking about the same thing all the time? Well, it still stays interesting while there might be some similarities. There's many different things that you can do with it, and so I promise you it's gonna be hard for you to ever be bored with it, even if you pick a niche and do that for quite a while. And you can always add to it, adjust it, edit, and all of those good things. So hopefully I'm on Wi-Fi and these are connected so you can hear me. It's like actually summer, it's like 82, so it feels like it's finally summer. And so I went on a walk, seeing if I can tag you guys so you can make sure you get this. This is cool. This is so handy. When you go live, what I'm doing here is after you go live, there's this little thing that comes up in the middle. It says tag friends. So I just clicked that because I had never clicked that. So learning lesson for you, if you go live and you want Facebook to alert, you click that tag friends, and then it gave you all the names of you all that are in this group, and you just add. And so that should notify you that I'm live. Cool, what a great feature. So anyways, yeah, it's like 82 today. It's finally feeling hot and humid here on the East Coast. I'm in New Jersey, right by New York City. It takes me about 10 minutes to get into Manhattan to Times Square. Pretty crazy. And so yeah, I was like, oh, it's so nice and sunny. So getting some fresh air and some sunshine, some vitamin D. So I did a nice little walk by the Hudson River and listened to a podcast. So if you like podcasts, definitely comment with what your favorite podcast is so we can all learn, because there's so many amazing, amazing, amazing ones out there. The one that I listened to was Angie Lee. I think hers is just called the Angie Lee podcast. And this one was about syncing your monthly cycle. So it's more for women. Syncing your monthly cycle to your business. So it gave you the best times to do like analysis, the best times to do creation, interaction, all of that based on your flow. So you can check it out if you're interested in that. It was pretty cool. But today, with this topic, talking about career change, how to go full-time as a coach, the message that I have for you around this is that if you desire it, it is more than possible for you. So I'll rewind back to like my journey of becoming a full-time coach. I definitely, when I was like going through the CTNC program, I was like, oh man, that would be so nice, but I bet it's just like so hard. I don't know if I could actually do it. And like, how are they doing it? How is it possible for them? Do they have a lot of money? Are they just like way smarter than me? Like, just thinking all of those thoughts, all of those worries, all of those fears. And so I, had that going on, and just like one step after another, just following what I learned in the CTNC program, I went full-time, and I've been full-time. And again, it's just, applying what you learn, and in a way where you're also not trying to do like everything all at once, because that can be exhausting and that can just make it so you're just spread so thin. But focusing one thing after another, and just deciding like, where do you want to do this? What does it want to look like? What do you want it to look like? How do you want this to work for you? And shifting those thoughts when they come up, from like, instead of it being like, oh, I can't do this, I shouldn't do this, this is scary, shifting it into I can, I will, I am, all of those things. So for me, before I started as a full-time coach, I was working in the corporate world, and I was a sales and marketing manager for a radiology facility in Manhattan. And so I was just like literally walking around Manhattan, New York City, like 5 to 10 miles a day, and taking the subway, going from doctor's office to doctor's office to doctor's office to doctor's office. And so I would like, there's a lot of, if you haven't been to New York City, to Manhattan, there's a lot of like little coffee shops. And so I'd have to, stop there, get some water, have a snack, have lunch, whatever. And I would always notice like these people working on laptops. There were so many people working on laptops, and I'm like, man, that would be so epic to be able to just like go to your favorite cafe, work on your laptop, have your coffee, have your green juice, have your like cafe snacks, like be around all these people that are working, maybe they're writing, like who knows, I don't know. So like day after day, I was like working at the job I really hated. I tried to make the best of it, and I was like, okay, like this is my goal. I'm gonna go full-time as a coach. I started working part-time in my business, and so I started doing group workshops at the radiology facility, like once a week with a group of the ladies there, and I did it for free. It was fun, and it was a way for me to practice. I taught them about essential oils. What did I do? I also did meditations, like yoga nidra style, and I did yoga because I had also graduated as a yoga teacher, like right before I did the CTNC. And so, yeah, practiced that, started my business part-time, had like a one-on-one client that I kind of had like practice with, which is what I would just refer to as like your case study clients that they have now. They didn't have that back when I did it, but I was basically doing the same thing. So I had these practice clients. So I was working into it, helping them with anxiety, helping them with pain, helping them regulate the stress management with the tools that I had learned. And then, yeah, with that goal, with that inspiration, like one step at a time, I was like, okay, I can do this. So I had an idea of exactly who I wanted to help, what I wanted to help them with, and how I could do that with the modalities of what I wanted. and I knew I wanted to have some in-person coaching, so I did that. I wanted to have some online coaching because I wanted to have the freedom to work from anywhere. So I had that and I did that. I started my website. I shared my story on social media, and I launched full-time as a coach in December 2016. And one caveat, which I think I already told you guys, was my exit from my career did not go quite as I planned it, but we know the universe helps us get what we want. So I was actually let go from my job because they knew I had started my own business. They knew I didn't really want to be there, and I had just closed a big deal for them. So they're like, it's nothing personal. However, today's your last day. So I got that fire under my belly, or in my belly, whatever, like more so that I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this. I am going full time. I'm going to work for myself. This is what I wanted anyways. And so then I started with like the marketing plans. Obviously I didn't do like the actual coaching in the cafe, but I stepped into that vision. I stepped into that dream where I was like, I want to work from a cafe. So that's where I would go to do like my program plans, my marketing plans, social media conversations, all of like the behind the scenes for my business. So it was, stepping into what I wanted. And within the first week of starting my coaching business full time, I launched with a group program. I think I had about 30 people in there, and I did it as like a paid Facebook challenge. So I made money right away. And then I had an upsell on it that included like a VIP one-on-one option, sold some of those. And then at the end of the program, I launched my one-on-one coaching and became fully booked with one-on-one clients. So the first week I launched, I got clients, I made money, and I became fully booked. And I stepped into the dream of working at a cafe. And then the clients that I did have in person, I actually had there was a community center in my building that no one used. And so I took full advantage of that and had my clients come there and meet me for their sessions. And then the other clients that weren't in my location, I did sessions with them via Zoom. So if you've heard of Zoom video, that's what I use now with all of my clients. It's beautiful. It works so well, so easy. You can share a screen with them. You can record it. You can do audio. You can have groups that way. Or like this with Facebook. Super, super easy. So that's a little, trip down memory lane for you to learn how it happened for me. And just knowing, with this transition, with this career change of, stepping into being a coach, going full time, you don't have to just go 0 to 100 full time. You can start part-time, like I said, even if it's for practice. What I did that worked beautifully and helped me get clients that were ready to pay. And now, with how ITN does it with the case study clients, I believe they have you do 5, which is great. And so you can decide if you want to do that, in just a matter of a few weeks, 30 days, however you decide to do that. Or if you even want to charge a little bit of money for it, that's not uncommon either. You can totally do that. And some other ideas you could do too is if you wanted to use the 10-day ITN reset, it's all done for you. You can easily open it up, add your name, add your logo if you have one. You don't even have to have a logo. Add your details, however they can connect with you. You can, run with that. You can either do that as like your, like entry program. You could charge for that. Run it either with a group or one-on-one, however you determine you want to do it. And I think the way to help you figure out like what's best to do that, like if you want to do one-on-one coaching, or if you want to do group coaching, or if you even wanted to open that up and use it as like an ebook or like a do-it-yourself course, you can do that as well. And I think the way to determine that is asking yourself, how much time each week do you have towards serving clients? So right now, look at your schedule, and like if you're working full-time already, and you have kids or whatever, you're really busy, like maybe you only have like 5 hours a week to allocate towards clients. In that case, you might either want to have like 2 or 3 one-on-one clients, or kind of like what we're doing here, if you wanted to start a Facebook group and either have it like free or paid. So they would pay you, and then they would get, you would add them to the group, and then all your content is then uploaded in the group. You can upload, what do they call it? Clicking on here, add file under the more button. You could add like the reset files there if you wanted to, and you could do lives, Facebook Live, trainings, coaching, Q&A. That's really what I did when I started, was I used Eventbrite to like put all the marketing of like, this is the program, this is what it's about, this is what you get, this is how much it is, click here to buy. And then as soon as they purchase that, I would get an email from Eventbrite about like money received, person signed up, and then I would add them to the Facebook group. So then once they paid me, they were in, and I had a start date to the group program. So you could model the same thing if you wanted to use the 10-day ITN reset, or if you have another signature program, or just a first-time program that you have a specific topic and you have like an outcome or a result that your ideal client will like, you can run with that and get going, and it doesn't have to take long. You can literally launch and get paying clients and like that. So like I said, I went on a walk today, and it's like summer, so I'm definitely gonna have to hydrate a lot today. Let me know if you have any questions. I see we have Mon, so welcome. So with, a career change, with going full-time, like I said, asking yourself, how much time can you allocate towards this? And what do you want it to look like? Because you don't have to go full-time as a coach. You don't even have to coach if you don't want to coach. Like ITN has structured the program to help you have so many ways that you can leverage your time and share this information to, help others. And so, that could look like, if you wanted to do a podcast, if you want to write a book, if you want to write an ebook and sell that online, if you want to blog, and you could either do it for free, or there are ways that you can monetize it with like being an affiliate marketer. You can be a speaker, either in real life at live events or online, which is what the bulk of them are happening now. You can also, another thing that is really, really, big now is, with all of like the functional medicine doctors, the integrative medicine doctors, all of like the holistic healing specialists now, they're definitely realizing the importance of having a health coach or a nutrition coach or a life coach or someone to do like meal plans, all of those things. As more and more of those practitioners are having health coaches as like a part of their practice, like in their office. So if you wanted to even, like if maybe you don't want to be an entrepreneur, but you just want to partner with someone as an employee, great. There are tons of opportunities. If you were to look at like Indeed.com or whatever the other, I don't even know what the job boards are right now. You can Google it. But I have a client now who, like, she's wanting to go that route, and she's found a ton of opportunities to be a health coach or a life coach on there. So you can definitely look at, what is your vision? Do you want to do this full-time? Do you want to do this part-time? It's totally up to you. There really are so many different ways that you can make a living, that you can make an impact, that you can make an income doing what you love to talk about. I had this conversation the other day with another coach. Like even if you wanted to do like YouTube videos every day of you literally just like showing what you're having for like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, like you can monetize YouTube and have videos. There is so much that you can do online. It's just like incredible. So the sky is really not even the limit, because there's so much that you can do with this knowledge and with your passion and with your experience and with your education. There really, really is. So really start to like sit down, get real with yourself, open up to the opportunity of like, what do you want this to look like for you? Where do you see yourself working? Who do you see yourself working with? What are you wearing? What are you talking about? How much money do you want to make? And if the idea of like, maybe you're like, oh, I want to have like a multi-million-dollar business. Great. Remember, you need to start off with first making $1, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, like, work up to it. And then once you like break through like that first monetary exchange of either getting your first client, selling your first program, it's like, that's where it's like kind of like real to you, where like you made that first income online, and like it just goes to show you and open you up that you can make as much as you want and you can really do it. Yay, you got your first client. Way to go, Mon. Way to go. Awesome. How did you do it? I would love to hear how you got your first client. And was it a case study client or a paid client? Either way, it's inspirational for everyone. Congratulations, way to go. Now that you got your first one, you can probably understand and you're like, yes, I get it. Like once you get the first one, it's like, yeah, you can do it. You can get the mini. Sometimes it seems like the first one is like the hardest. It's like your first step, your first jump off a swimming board, like whatever. It's like once you do it once, you like know that you can do it again and again and again. But congrats, that's awesome. So yeah, really start to look at, what do you really want this to look like? Do you want to have your own business? Do you want to work in a practitioner's office? Another thing that I did a lot of was I would do like workshops in doctor's offices or in pharmacies, spas, salons. What else did I do? Yeah. So you're just posting in your Facebook, and a friend just messaged me on how she could become healthy, and you did the discovery call and you got it. Awesome. See, like I said, you just did it and it can be easy. And it sounds like it was very, very fun too. So that's awesome. Very, very good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Very cool. The power of Facebook. That is what I shared last time too. That's how I got started. Well, I mean, besides like at the facility I worked at, really my big like launch was on Facebook with doing a video, sharing my story, sharing the program I was doing, who it was for, who it helps, how they can join, because I did a group program. So awesome. Very, very cool. Do you have a goal of getting more clients? What does your vision look like? Do you plan to go full-time, part-time? Feel free to share live or in the replay so we can get this conversation going. And yeah, like I say, I'm pretty sure I say this each time. If I don't, I shouldn't, or I should. Oh my gosh. That, you know, like there's, how many members are there? I think there's 16 and 17. So you guys are, you know, like in a great like pod group that you have a commonality in that you all started the CTNC program around the same time. So you're kind of like a little CTNC class. So take advantage of having these classmates, these 17 classmates that you can connect with. So if you want to share each other's like programs, if you're launching a program, you know, sharing whoever your niche is that you help, because obviously you're not going to help everyone with everything. So, you know, sharing each other's stuff, you know, so-and-so shares stuff about diabetes and helps diabetes. So-and-so helps with fertility. So-and-so helps with weight loss. And so it makes sense for you guys to share each other's stuff. So you expand your networks. You can even do collaborations. I did that a couple times. For example, the one that's popping into my mind was like a 5-day mind body reset, and it was like a paid online group program that I did with another ITN coach that I met from the Facebook group. So she covered like the meal plan, and she covered like the exercise, and I covered everything like mindset and lifestyle. So it worked together really, really well, because I certainly did not want to come up with recipes or the meal plan. That has like never been my thing. But all the things, mindset, emotions, energy, tips and tricks and tools of like how to minimize stress and anxiety in your life. Like, that was my thing. So she filled in those gaps and I filled in the other gaps, and it was great because that also meant that we doubled the marketing power, because we both shared it on our Facebook, we both shared it on our Instagram, and then we got the group together and just took turns on how we did everything. So keep in mind, by sharing in the group where you're at, if you're getting your first clients, if you're trying to get your first clients, if you are, if you have a program opening up, let us know, so that way we can, you guys can share each other's stuff, or, you know, even if you are looking for opportunities of like, working in practitioners' offices or so on and so forth, you know, someone probably knows someone. So take advantage of the power of word of mouth and connections. And looking at my notes, and Mon, let me know if you have any questions about like getting more clients, or I'd love to know where you're at with your coaching vision. Are you planning to go full-time? Are you planning to do it part-time? What does that look like for you? We will cheer you on. So either way, it's totally up to you. There are plenty of CTNCs in the community who have done like anything, all the things. There are some coaches in the community that just use the information for themselves and their families, which is great. And then there's some who make a couple $100 extra a month, a couple $1,000 extra a month, up to 6 figures and beyond. So there are all levels, there are all types of avenues. So it starts with you. It begins with what is right for you. And sometimes in order to discover what is right for you is to first try it. So for Mon, now that you have your first client, you get to test it out. You get to determine, do you want to just have a practice that helps one-on-one clients? Do you want to try group coaching, in-person coaching, write a book, have a podcast, have a YouTube channel, have a blog, work in a practitioner's office? You get to decide. You all get to decide, and you get to try it out, and you get to create it and sculpt it from there and what's right for you. So let me see. Let's see. We talked about, I'm just looking at the comments on the desktop too. Make sure I'm not missing anything. And next month, we're gonna talk more about like how to get your first paying clients for the others who haven't gotten their first paying client yet. But to wrap up the topic for today, we can talk about where you can start first. So like Mon, like you did, beautiful, you posted on your Facebook, a friend messaged you, you did the discovery call, and you got your first paying client. Amazing. That works so well for so many people. So it can definitely work for you all. I think the hardest part is usually posting it. It's like, what do you say? Who do you decide to help and what with? That's usually the hardest part. So it's like once you do the post, then it's like, okay, you did it. Now that's like the hardest part. So where you can start first. So Facebook, Instagram, telling people in your family, texting your friends, emailing people, and asking them, to think of like, do you know anyone who needs help with this, that, and the other, and share specifically who you help and with what, and maybe even why, because people tend to remember your story. So if you have a story of like, you struggled with such and such, and you transformed it, and now you help others do the same, it's very memorable. So make it easy for people to remember who you are, what you do, and who you help. So when they come into contact with those like ideal people, they'll be like, oh, Mindy helps with that. You need to connect with Mindy. Like so many times people have helped me with the marketing work. So you can do the same thing when you have that clear message of who you help, what you do, and why. And a simple way to connect with you is good too. Yes, you could ask one thing. My client is really struggling with stress at work. What would be the simplest and actionable plan that I could help her with? Good. Yeah, good question. So, stress at work is very common. So that's definitely a good thing to talk about, and especially if she's in a place of like she has to go to work, so it's like unavoidable stress, then you could help her with an actionable plan. Like you could say, you could ask her, remember, like, it's not about like giving her all of the advice, but like co-creating a plan. So perhaps you could ask her, like, what are your breaks at work? Like, what time are your breaks? So maybe if she goes to work and she gets there at like 8, maybe she has her first break at like 11, and that's for lunch. Ask her, like, what are you doing for lunch? What do you do for lunch every day? Get a feel for like what that looks like. Is she like eating her lunch like at her desk and like still working? Is she going out to like her car? Is she going out to a restaurant? Like, find out specifically like what that looks like, and try to identify what are the key stressors. Is it people? Is it her commute? Is it her hours? Is it the work? Like, dig into that so you can try to find those more like specific things instead of just like, throwing all these options. That will help, because like I'll give you some hints, but it depends on what's specific for her. So for instance, if it's just like that she's still like working on breaks or something, you could offer a suggestion of having her try to, instead of like eating lunch at her office, at her desk, that she could try to like go sit outside on a park bench, or ask her like, where is a place away from your desk where you could eat your lunch? What are you eating for lunch? Because like what you know as well with food and stress, that sometimes foods cause more stress. So that opens up a conversation to see, what is she eating? How does that make her feel? Like if she's just eating like a bunch of pasta, or if she is eating a salad, or if she is eating a protein or a fat or carb, like whatever that looks like. So ask her all the questions of like, what does your day look like? Where do you eat? What do you eat? What specifically stresses you out about work? And try to find little shifts and ask her, you know, what could she do? What could she think of? Because you want to get her on board with doing some of those habit swaps so that she takes ownership of that actionable plan. So maybe she's stressed because she isn't able to find time in her day to like exercise. So what could you do to try to get like a few steps in at work for like 10 minutes a day? See what she can come up with. Maybe it's like just having her take the stairs from like one level to another at work. Maybe it's having her, if she like drives and there's a parking lot, maybe it's having her park a little farther away from the building. Like, see what you can find that would fit her specifically. Because you know already, Mon, I would ask you, what are some daily habits that you do that you can think of that you know will help ease stress? And let's see. While I'm waiting for you to comment back, I'm going to wrap up the topic too for you all on where you can start first. So like Mon, you did Facebook, you can try Instagram, you can message your friends, message your family, talk to your friends in person, talk to your friends and family in person if that is now an option for you. It depends on where you are in the world. Your gym, your job, tell your coworkers. Like I said, that's how I was able to get started with practicing my coaching, my yoga, stress relieving tools. I introduced essential oils to the office. That was really, really helpful for all of the doctors and the techs and the patients to ease stress with like a lavender spray. And then I had a grapefruit spray for focus for when they were on the computers, like reading all of the images. So that could be a thing too for you, Mon, for your actionable plan. A simple tool that they could have, that she could have on her desk. So it could be like a essential oil roll-on. That could be another thing. What else do I have on my notes? Church, community. So if you live in like an apartment building, you could do a workshop for the people in your apartment. So just think, where, who do you know, who could benefit, who else knows someone who this could benefit, and open up to the opportunities. And instead of assuming that your personal Facebook or Instagram or whatever, assuming that they don't want help or that they don't need what you have to offer, shift it and assume that they do, because you don't really know until you do. And a lot of people will surprise you because they have never shared that they have specific problems or issues, because either they think it's normal or they're just like scared and they don't know what to do. So share, assume that it could either benefit them or it could benefit someone else that they know. So sharing is caring. What else did I say? Yeah, so just start by sharing, work your way into it, one step at a time, one person at a time, and then it starts building and building and building and growing and growing and growing, and more opportunities come up for you. So you get to decide what it looks like for you. You get to decide who you help with what, where. You get to decide what you wear. I'm super cash. Most times I'm like yoga clothes because that's what I love to wear. So you get to decide, and you get to start stepping into that. You get to start being that. You get to start visualizing that. You get to work into it as much as you can, when you can, and how you can. So think of opening up to the opportunities of what you want to have that look like for you. Okay, Mon, you said, I eat away from my workplace. Yes, at the staff room and walk upstairs. I also take nice, deep breathing if I could feel the stress is rising. Great. See, those are great tips. So that would be helpful for her, you know, like I did with you. First, ask her some questions so you get a feel for what that looks like. And as she's sharing, you can start to write it down and identify, you know, those things. Ask her, what would you like? How would you like to do that instead? Are you open to some suggestions? And then you could share your suggestions because they're great. Yeah, that's definitely what I would recommend too. And sometimes, like, just those simple things, people don't even think about because either one, they don't know, or two, they just have never done it because they've just been doing the same thing over and over and over, and then they start to just like delete out options, or they don't think about it because they're just basically on like what's the word, automation. They're just like going through the motions. So these questions and these suggestions start to like wake them up to like, oh, you know what, you actually can take the stairs. Are there stairs? What do those look like? You know, that could be a fun new plan. See how you feel. Try that. Get them accountable to like, when will you start to take the stairs? When will you start to eat away from your workplace? Where will you work? What sounds good to you for where you'd like to eat your lunch? Where are the stairs? When will you start taking the stairs? How many stairs are there? Take the stairs. If they say they'll start taking the stairs on Friday, great. I'll hold you accountable as a coach. I'll make a note that you're going to take the stairs on Friday. I'll hold you accountable. So in our next session on Friday, I'm going to ask you about the stairs. And people, you know, for the most part, they don't want to let you down. So even having them share that they're going to do it, knowing that you're going to ask that if they did it and how they felt, they'll do it. And with the breathing, having her notice where she's breathing and have her check in with, you said, with the deep breathing. You can teach her how to do that, and then great, she has a tool. So perhaps you could have her be accountable with taking the deep breathing by like setting an alarm on like her watch or her phone or computer, so that at like 10 a.m. every morning or 3 p.m. every afternoon, the little reminder comes up and she does the deep breathing. So awesome. I love that. Or when the stress is rising, just like you said, you are on it. You already know. You already know. So just ask her, have her paint the picture, have her get on board, see what options she can create. And congrats again on getting your first client. And now it's time for me to wrap up our talk for today, but this has been fun as always. So share with us if you get more clients so we can do happy dances and celebrate with you. If you have questions about your clients, feel free to share here. So it also opens up the conversation for you all to learn, to be inspired, to have conversations, to expand, to grow, to collaborate, to network, all of those good things. So, alrighty, so this was how to get your first clients. Oh, wait, no, sorry. This month was career change and how to transition to full time. Next month, we will talk about how to get your first clients. And so I'll go into even more of the details. So, for our time next month, I will give you an update on when we will have that. So stay tuned. I think if it works out for most of you all, what did I say? I think the 4th Tuesday of every month at 12 p.m. Eastern is best for me. I'd love some feedback for the other 2 months. I can try to switch it up as best as I can. So we'll be in touch on that. You're so welcome. Thanks for joining today. It was so good to celebrate your first client, that you're helping your client with stress, and I look forward to hearing more from you and your success. So let us know how it goes with those tips and what worked for her, what worked for you. And yes, oh my gosh, enjoy that swim in the river to cool off. That sounds marvelous. So enjoy. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.